Welcome, PyLadies Rivers beginners. Let's jump right in. If you're in weeks 1 and 2 of your Python journey and you're suddenly seeing a screen just full of angry red text, take a deep breath. Honestly, it's completely normal. Welcome to our watercolor-inspired Explorer's Guide to Python Errors, where we're going to learn how to navigate these moments with total confidence.
So let's shift our mindset right out of the gate. Bugs are not terrifying dragons you have to slay. Like this quote perfectly points out, they're really just Python's way of showing us what needs a little attention. Think of them as friendly, brightly colored trail markers helping guide you through the wilderness.
And looking at the beautifully mapped out guide from our PyLadies Rivers curriculum, you can see all the common sites along the trail. Having them laid out like this really proves that getting an error doesn't mean you broke your computer. Debugging is literally just practice. It's definitely not a punishment.
Here's our map for today's explainer. First, errors are not failures. Second, syntax and indentation errors. Third, name and type errors. Then, the debugging formula. And finally, keep coding, keep learning.
Section 1. Errors are not failures.
Section 2. Syntax and indentation errors.
All right, first up on the trail is the syntax error. Basically, this happens when Python just cannot understand the structure of your code. It's kind of like accidentally breaking Python's grammar rules. You wrote a great sentence, but because it's missing a period or maybe a quotation mark, the interpreter just sits there, unable to read it.
I know a lot of you saw this exact thing pop up in our first assignment. Notice how leaving off just that single closing parentheses at the end of the print statement stops the whole code cold. Bam, syntax error. But the golden fix here is super simple. Always close exactly what you open. Pop that parentheses back in, and you're good to go.
Because as the PyLadies curriculum beautifully reminds us, a missing character can stop a program, but it can never stop your learning. Tiny typos are just a perfectly normal part of typing code. When it happens, don't panic. Take a breath, find the missing piece, and add it right in.
Okay, next up is the indentation error. This one means Python expects proper indentation. You see, unlike some other languages that use curly brackets to group things, Python relies entirely on the visual spacing of your code blocks. If those spaces don't line up properly, Python gets totally lost on the trail. For example, if a print statement is pushed all the way to the left edge, right under an if-true statement, Python has no clue they belong together. The fix? Just bump that print statement in by 4 spaces. That completely resolves it by creating the expected indented block. Python uses that spacing to know exactly which lines of code belong together. Good indentation makes your code readable and your mind organized, keeping your logic flowing smoothly, just like a gentle river.
Moving on to Section 3, name and type errors.
Meet the name error. The definition here is pretty straightforward. You used a variable that hasn't been defined. It's basically Python saying it opened up its backpack, rummaged around, looked everywhere, but just could not find the specific name you are asking for.
So if we ask Python to print a username, but we never actually told Python who or what username is, yep, name error. The fix is incredibly easy though. You just need to create and define that variable before you try to use it. Tell Python username equals Ada first, and then print it on the next line. Define your variables just as clearly as you define your goals. Oh, and a quick heads up, Python is extremely case sensitive. A capital letter is entirely different from a lowercase one to Python, so always double check your spelling and make sure those definitions happen first. Our fourth common marker on the trail is the type error. This means you're trying to combine incompatible data types. Essentially, you're trying to mix things that just shouldn't be mixed, like trying to do math using a word and a number.
And wow, is this a classic trap? It definitely caught several of us in the week 2 math assignment. If your age is the text string 20 and you try to add the number 5 to it, Python panics. You just can't add text and numbers together directly. The fix? Use the int function to convert that text string into an actual integer first, and then you can do the math.
This is exactly why wrapping your input in functions like int or string is such a vital habit to build early on, because understanding data types really is understanding how information behaves inside your program.
Section 4. The debugging formula.
Check out this 6-step PyLadies Rivers debugging formula. It's your trusty toolkit to calmly approach any broken code. 1. Read the error carefully. 2. Identify the line. 3. Understand the expectation. 4. Fix just one issue at a time. 5. Run it again. And 6. Celebrate every fix. Seriously, don't try to change 10 things at once. Just take it step by step.
Now here is the absolute golden rule of debugging. When you get a massive wall of red text in your terminal, it's pretty intimidating, right? Well, the secret is to read your terminal errors from the bottom up. That very last line is actually the treasure map. It points straight to the file, the exact line number, and tells you exactly what type of error you're dealing with.
And finally, Section 5. Keep coding. Keep learning.
Please keep this beautiful sentiment in mind. Today's error message may become tomorrow's expertise. I promise you, every single experienced senior developer out there still sees these exact same syntax and type errors every single day. Getting errors is just the process of programming. It is absolutely not a setback.
So, the next time you run your code and see a screen full of red text, are you going to shrink back? Are you going to use your new Explorer's compass to find the path forward? Keep coding, keep asking questions, keep learning. You've got this, PyLadies.